Welcome back. You're still tuned in to News and Views with myself, Salailo Makwidiri. It's a very busy morning, both on the roads and in the headlines. If you just joined us, welcome to News and Views on Salam Media. As I've mentioned, my name is Salailo Makwidiri, and we're going to be diving into the day's top story. We're going to be beginning today's show in Gauteng, municipality of Ekurhuleni, specifically in the township of Thembisa, where anger over rising electricity costs has once again spilled onto the streets. Yesterday, we saw visuals of violent protests that erupted from last week, really, over a municipal surcharge that many residents say is unaffordable and unjust. The city of Ekurhuleni has now suspended the tariff, but it's only for now. It's a temporary measure. And join us now to unpack the decision and what it ultimately means for residents is Councillor Mahommed. Cassim is a PR councillor in the city of Ekurhuleni. Councillor, thank you so much for being with us on News and Views this morning. Really, really appreciate you giving us your time.
Good morning. It's a pleasure. And it's a pleasure to be on Salam Media, and we're here for you.
No, the pleasure is all ours. I think, Councillor, we can start the conversation with a big question. The mayor yesterday saying the surcharge in Ekurhuleni Thembisa is only suspended. It's not a permanent measure. It's not scrapped. So can residents really breathe a sigh of relief, or is this just kicking the can down the road? And if you can maybe begin with this electricity surcharge. What did it mean for the residents of Thembisa, and what kind of amounts were going to be added to the electricity bill?
Okay, the surcharge is basically for the whole of Ekurhuleni, not only for Thembisa. But what we are witnessing in Ekurhuleni is a serious breach of public trust. The implementation of this electricity charge, which is more than 100 Rand. For example, if you're on a single phase, it's 109 Rand, 78 cents. And on the three-phase, it's 203 Rand 89 cents per month. So what's happening is when you go and buy your prepaid electricity, this amount goes off first before you receive any units. So before you start using any electricity, this amount will be taken off. So basically your units will be less. And the fixed tariff basically did not go through the IDP process, which means the mayor's claim that the surcharge was part of the IDP consultations is not true. The proposal was presented during those public engagements, and the mayor did not mention anything about the surcharge. Also, regarding the surcharge, there was no council approval, which means it's a violation of the democratic process. The municipal budget decisions, especially those affecting the cost of living, require approval by council. The surcharge basically was introduced unilaterally. It bypassed both council and legal public consultation processes. This, in fact, means that it's an example of governance by stealth, which is a financial burden without legal authorization or community input. And also with the surcharge, it affects the poorest residents. You know, people are already struggling with inflation, unemployment, and erratic service delivery. And now with this extra tax on them, it's much of a burden. Regarding the 21-day suspension, you know what, I think it's just for now, but what we're going to do is, as Action SA, we're going to take it up. We need to have a transparent governance, community-driven solutions, and council oversight. So we're going to try from our side is to, scrap the surcharge completely. And also we're going to ask for a full investigation into how this decision was made without council oversight. Another thing on this is that the mayor claims the surcharge was based on Eskom and NERSA directives. But NERSA does not mandate the inclusion of fixed surcharges like this. In other metros, tariffs are different compared to Ekurhuleni at the moment.
I want to touch on that note, the fact that the mayor said the municipalities' hands are essentially tied because Eskom and NERSA are the one that determine the tariffs. So then who actually makes the final call on what residents should be paying for their electricity bill?
Okay, the electricity tariffs, we understand. It's from Eskom and NERSA directly. That comes down, and then the municipality's got to put up their extra amount for electricity and that which they normally pay to Eskom. But surcharges like this does not stem from NERSA or from Eskom directly. This is actually done unilaterally by the leading party at the moment and through the mayor.
We've also heard that this surcharge was meant to close, I think it's a 300 billion revenue gap. What's the alternative now, as Action is saying? Because you're saying you're going to find means and ways to make sure that the surcharge is ultimately permanently suspended. What would be an alternative to close that 300 billion revenue gap? Will other services have to suffer? Where will the money come from?
You know what, other services have gone up already because with the municipality, the financial year begins in July. So if they need to cover the gap, you know what, there are other means and ways of covering the gaps besides surcharging, the communities, especially for electricity. And as the Minister of Electricity said, that the electricity amounts are quite high where they need to start bringing it down. So, like, for example, if you take the abandoned buildings or the hijacked buildings and, convert them into flats or office spaces, there's a lot of income that the municipality can derive from that. Just by putting the surcharge on the electricity doesn't help. It doesn't help because a lot of people also, we got the illegal connections and that, so you're not receiving that money. But there are other means, as I said, where the municipality can, improve and collect more revenue for the municipality itself.
How much of this is a wake-up call for how municipalities engage communities beyond just formal hearings and ratepayers kind of meetings? Is there a more different, more efficient way that as municipalities you can go about talking to the public and making those recommendations and seeing whether or not they agree and are willing to pay and participate in whatever the municipality is putting on offer?
The municipality got the integrated development plan, which is the IDP. It's a 5-year strategic plan that outlines the municipality goals, objectives, and strategies for social and economic development. With this, they have public participation where the ward councillors as well as the mayors, they go out to communities and engage them. But unfortunately, this surcharge was not part of that IDP process where even the communities were not engaged to tell them, listen, we're going to, include this in your electricity bill. Like if you go out to communities and you explain to them, it's a different thing. But like we do have the public participation community meetings, and in there, communities can come up and, give us ideas as well.
And as for political parties who are, in opposition benches, did you guys engage the mayor on this? Because I'm just thinking to myself, if residents hadn't taken to the streets, if tires weren't burnt and roads weren't barricaded, as we saw in Thembisa, would this surcharge still be in place today?
You know what? We were discussing it because this surcharge just came at the beginning of this month, when we realized that, myself too, that when I went to buy electricity and I saw the surcharge of 110 rand, that came off first before they could give me any units. That's the only time where we as Action SA realized that this surcharge has come in unilaterally without consultation with any other parties or anything. So that's why we are taking it up. In fact, there was a statement that went out last week also, where we discussed this matter. So from now, we will going to be hitting it hard.
One last question before I let you go, Councillor. The mayor, said, they will be returning in about 2 weeks with a more permanent solution. Can you give us maybe a hint of, what that permanent solution might be? Are there, new negotiations already happening with Eskom and NERSA?
From my side, from Action SA side, is that we are speaking to the mayor, and I can't confirm exactly what's happening now, because it's still a bit early days, because he only mentioned it yesterday. So what's going to happen is we go back to our boardroom, we take it up from our side, and then we discuss with the mayor. But as I said, from our side, we want the surcharge to be scrapped completely. And then if it is, good luck. If not, then we'll try to, take it up some other way or something. And also, you don't blame the people when they uprise or that, because I mean, this is hard-earned money also for them.
No, definitely. There was PR Councillor in the city of Ekurhuleni, Councillor Mahommed Cassim. Councillor, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure as there are more updates on the story, we'll definitely be keeping in touch with you. You guys are in the opposition benches in the city of Ekurhuleni, and I'm sure there's a whole lot more that you can give us as the situation continues to unfold, and that quote-unquote permanent solution is being discussed and ultimately found. Really appreciate your time this morning.
No, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. And also, if there is any updates or whatever, I will get back to you. Thank you very much.
Definitely, there was Councillor Mahommed Cassim. Are you in Ekurhuleni? Are you in Thembisa? What can you tell us about the prices of electricity lately? I know countrywide, a lot of people have been complaining about how expensive electricity has become. Are there alternatives that you had to employ? Are you finding kind of different ways to go about limiting your use of electricity and how much electricity you buy in a month? Are you using gas instead of your electricity stove? I know people have also used solar. It was essentially, for that period where we had crazy load shedding. But now it seems it's becoming a mitigating factor against rising electricity prices. You can engage with us 0116800355, 0617660355. That's our WhatsApp line. What measures have you put in place to kind of mitigate to mitigate the electricity prices? I mean, they've gone up so much in the last few weeks. And is your community also planning to go the Thembisa route? Are conversations being had on the community WhatsApp groups about going out to the streets and saying to the government, to the municipality or whatever city or metro you're in, that we can't afford this? Electricity is becoming so expensive and people just can't handle it anymore. Because, I don't think it's just Thembisa. You can even head over to social media right now. I think the prices of electricity is one of the biggest concerns for a lot of South Africans. So, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the situation in Thembisa ultimately pans out, if they'll find that alternative solution to plug that 300 billion rand gap that the municipality says they have, and that this electricity surcharge was supposed to plug. Hey, interesting times ahead. Going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be having our hashtag Africa Focus feature. We'll be speaking to research associate at UJ, Orapeleng Matsidiso, and we'll be talking about Burkina Faso and Ibrahim Traore. The man says no elections until further notice, and also shuts down the Electoral Commission in Burkina Faso. More on that after the short break.